Hey there, this is Cookie Gaynor, and I am going to show you how to make an adorable and useful pincushion using your embroidery machine. For step number 1, I have replaced the white thread in the directions, and I am using brown thread in order to increase visibility. So the machine is now going to stitch the fabric placement stitch onto the hooped soft cutaway. I love the embellished products. They are so soft and easy to handle. In step 2, we need to cover the placement stitch with one layer of embellished Angel Loft bamboo and top that with one layer of white fabric. Secure with embroidery perfection tape, which I will now refer to as EPT. The bamboo loft really clings to the cutaway and fabric, so I am placing one piece at the bottom to avoid shifting. Keep the EPT out of the stitching path. Again, this is the tack down stitch to hold the two layers securely to our embellished soft cutaway. We are ready to move on to the next step. In our next step, I am stitching with white thread to match the fabric because we are doing diamond-shaped quilting stitches. Let me bring back out the pincushion so you can see those diamond shapes that are embroidered in as quilting. Okay, so we're going to let this stitch out, and this will form a nice base for our lettering. Upon completion of the quilting stitches, place a layer of iron away topper. This way here, you will provide space between the quilting and your lettering. Continue stitching steps 4 and 5, and you will see how the iron away topper really gives that lettering a very clean, crisp look. Once this is done stitching, leave it in the hoop, go over to your ironing board, and with a metal iron, you're going to set it to a wool and use that metal contact to remove the iron away. Place the two layers of the back panel, folded centers touching. There's a 1-inch overlap. Put a piece of tape on the top and on the bottom to hold them in place. And you can see that they are the folded edges that meet in the center with a 1-inch overlap. Then we're going to take a piece of iron away topper, place that on top, and again secure it with EPT tape. And we are doing this so that the foot of your embroidery machine does not get caught up on that center fold. I learned that tip from Hope Yoder. Okay, and there is the point. You can see what we're talking about. I have switched back to the white matte thread, which matches the fabric that's on the exterior of the front, and it is now embroidering the assembly stitch. Once the assembly stitch is done, and it is going to stitch around twice for added security, you can now remove that from the hoop, rip away the stabilizer, cut around a 1/4-inch seam all the way around from the assembly stitch, clip the curves, and turn the project right side out. I use scissors when cutting my 1/4-inch. However, a rotary cutter and a ruler would make it look prettier, but I'm excited. I want it done. I forgot to mention, when you clip the curves, make sure that you do not cut into the thread itself. Okay, don't cut into the seam line. All right, now it's time to move into working on the pillow liner. Step 1 is to go ahead and thread your machine with the color to match your liner, and you're going to embroider the placement stitch onto hooped embellished soft cutaway, just like before. And it's going to lay down that placement line for you. I have placed 2 layers of white fabric covering the placement stitch, and we are now using the tack down. So it's tacking down those 2 layers. And once this is done, I'm going to unhoop, cut 1/4 of an inch away around the assembly stitch, and then turn it right side out. Fill it with some type of batting. It could be the Quilter Select wool batting or whatever you have handy. And then whip stitch the closure. Now here you can see on the left hand side is the stitch and shape, and I cut that out to be 4.5 by 4.5 inches. And that's going to be used to keep pins from coming through. And then here we have the insert pillow, and instead of whip stitching it, I confess, I use my sewing machine. And then over on to the right is the actual pillow itself. So I'm going to take that pillow insert and I'm going to apply that inside that pillow cover, and the cutaway will be on the bottom, and then that last piece, just stitch and shape, will be at the end. And here you can see that I've got it in that order: the stitch and shape, the pillow going into the pillow cover.
Here you see both files pictured together, the 5 by 5 on the left, which actually measures 4.75 by 4.75 inches. And on the right hand side is the 6 by 6, which again is 5 3/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. So super easy, super fun, all made with Embellish Maker software. You can see the great lettering and how well the flawless thread is for doing that fine lettering in both sizes. And then the motif edges all the way around. Just really quick, easy to make.